Hello, everybody. And God said, let there be light. We know from the very beginning of the Torah of the power of words, the magic and the power of language. But is that also true when it comes to technology? That's what we're going to discuss today. Hey everybody, Rabbi David here, your Torah tech guy. Welcome again to Torah Tech Tips. I was having some trouble getting onto YouTube. I'm not sure why, so I'm just here on Facebook, but I'm happy to see you. In any case, I'm your Torah tech guy, and my job here on Torah Tech Tips and with all the stuff that I do is to share with you great tech for your great Torah. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about language. I wanted to ask the question, does it matter what language we use around Torah technology, the technology that we're using to share our Torah? Does it matter what language we use when we talk about the work that we're doing? And I have 4 specific examples that I really wanted to focus on. So let's jump in. So the first one is sort of basic, and to me it's the least important of all of these. And it's understanding the difference between broadcast and multicast. What I'm doing right now is a broadcast. It's one way, right? I'm the presenter, you're the audience, you're listening. Broadcast means that I'm sending a signal out to you and you're taking advantage of it. Multicast is something very, very different. A multicast is like what we do on Zoom. It's when you transmit and engage with audio and video from several sources at the same time. So when we're thinking about our services or our classes, it may be helpful to frame them as either broadcasts or multicasts. And of course, what we want to accomplish will determine whether or not we should be broadcasting or multicasting. If my goal is just to get information out there and not really engage much, then a broadcast may be appropriate, although there are engagement pieces to broadcasting as well, like the chat. Like I can see right now, I got a thumbs up. Thank you for that thumbs up. Multicasting is really, though, about sharing voices, the democratization of davening or the democratization of learning, so everyone can be seen, can be heard, and can participate and be a potential leader. All right, let's move on to another one. This is a big one for me, and I've been talking about this for a long time, virtual versus digital. A lot of us say that we have virtual services or people join us virtually. Well, here's the thing about virtual. Virtual means almost or nearly as described, but not exactly. Well, I have to tell you, when I watch services and when I participate in classes with many of you, what I'm experiencing behind my computer is not almost anything. It is real Torah. It is real davening. Digital, on the other hand, means involving or related to the use of computer technology. That's all it is. What you're offering, the Torah that we are all offering, when it's online, there's nothing virtual. There's nothing almost or fake or not quite about it. At its best, it is very much equal to the Torah that we might share in person. It is, though, digital. It is being shared or consumed through the use of computer technology. All right, 2 more for you. This is one I actually just learned, and I want to give a shout out to Rabbi David because he's the person who taught this to me. In-person versus on-site. We've talked a little bit about we have people who are in person and we have people who are online. Well, I'd like to suggest that we change that language from in-person to on-site. Why? In-person means with the personal presence or action of the individual specified. When people are joining us online, they are very much present. They can very much be active in our learning, in our davening, in our growing together. On-site means at a particular place or site. So instead of saying in person and online, maybe we could say on site and online. We have people that are in our physical sanctuary, they are on site, and we have people that are very much in our minyan, in the minyan of our learning or the minyan of our davening, but they are online, as opposed to saying in person, because the people who are watching us digitally are very much present if we do it right. Last one for you. And this also is not mine. This actually came from the Reform movement. The URJ put out a beautiful article challenging us to rethink the use of the word hybrid. They said that instead of hybrid, we should use the phrase, that'll come back in 1 second, sorry. We should use the phrase multi-access. So what does hybrid mean? A hybrid means a thing made by combining two different elements, a mixture. In some ways, even though hybrid feels like an expansion of the in-person, see, there you go, I just used it, of the on-site programming that we've always done, hybrid feels like we're expanding that. It actually is quite limiting, because what it says is it's combining two things, whereas multi-access allows the simultaneous connection of a number of terminals, or in this case, a number of people, or in this case, a number of access points, right? Multi-access, when we frame what we're offering as multi-access, what we get, instead of just it's on-site or online, it's digital or, in the sanctuary, what we get is a reframing of our goals. Our goals now are not just to accommodate those who can't come on site. Now our goal is to make our Torah multi-access, to make it accessible to many, many people in many, many ways, in many different capacities. And that's a really powerful way of thinking about this new phase of sharing Torah that we're about to, or that we are in and are continuing to embark upon. So a few different options for you to think about there. The first one, broadcast versus multicast. Then we had virtual versus digital. Then we had on-site versus in-person. And the last is hybrid versus multi-access. I invite you to think about your language. How do you talk about the Torah that you're sharing? Are you giving thought to the power of those names that you give your new Torah? I also want to tell you, and I want to invite you to join me for an amazing session this Friday. We've already had some really fantastic learning. Dr. Sandra Lilienthal, Ellen Allard, Rabbi Menachem Creditor, and this Friday at 1 o'clock, we're going to be joined by Sarah Wolkenfeld from Sefaria. Sarah is the chief educational guru at Sefaria, and we're going to talk all about the role that Sefaria has played over the course of this past year, before this past year, and where she sees it going in the future. That program is called Unmute. It's on Fridays at 1 o'clock. I do hope you'll join me at TorahTechGuy.tv or right here on our Facebook page. And hey, while you're visiting TorahTechGuy.tv or our Facebook page, do me a favor, hop on over to TorahTechGuy.com, where you'll find lots of wonderful resources, including some new training that I'm doing. I'm doing a training on how to be a Zoom Gabbai in June. You can find that at TorahTechGuy.com/training or /Zoom, either way. I also just this morning updated my gear page to have specific collections for microphones, a collection for cameras, and a collection for peripherals that you might find helpful. There's lots of great information there, and it's all to help you share your Torah. So friends, that's about it for this week. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. I hope I'll see you on Friday at Unmute, and I'll see you next time on Torah Tech Tips. Bye.